Yeah. And it was, I can't remember, it was abortion related.
Well, sure.
And Saffron's like, no, I can't. She's like, I cannot have my face in another fucking abortion sketch. And Dave looked at her right in the eye and said, that's your dad talking, not you.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to grow up in the 80s? And he has sitcoms and where's the beef ladies? Then you need to listen in your car or at work. Now it's time for Keith is a Jerk. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Keith is a Jerk. My name is Keith, and I am joined, of course, by my co-host. We got Dave. What are you saying, Dave?
Hello.
And we've got Ryan in the house. What are you saying, Ryan? In the house. Fuck me. Ryan?
It's like you're setting him up, dropping some sick beats now as Ryan.
Yeah,
you stole my bit there. You did a little white hip hop on your own, and I'm just gonna say it's lovely to be here because we're.
Can we start again? Sorry, can we start again? Yeah, got a Bobby there.
No, roll it. Just fuck it.
No,
Here's
it's embarrassing for me, so that's good. Let's go with that. So what are we talking about today? We're doing awkward moments part 2, just because that's us. Like I
think we've come to the conclusion that awkward moments are pretty much just what this podcast is.
That's pretty much.
Yeah. And it's not awkward.
It is. It was noticeably there that I was like, oh, well, how do I separate the wheat from the chaff? You know what I mean? Like this is just.
Yeah. I have more awkward moments than normal moments, so.
Yeah. You realize as you get older and as I got to know you guys a little bit more that, yeah, I can tell stories from my day to day and I'm going to fit in on any topic of this podcast.
Yeah, really.
It's awkward.
It is a sad truth. Yeah, amazing. All right. So let's just jump right back into it again. That's okay. Let's go.
I've got one off the top and apologies in advance, Keith. I'm going to bring up some old pain for you here.
No, I know which one it is and don't do it.
Yeah, I am.
Do it. Okay,
great.
good.
Well, I edit, so I'm not worried.
We're taking video. Cut this motherfucker. In our previous days of doing sketches, as I like to say, I was a part of 2 live shows for Nocturnal Emissions. One amazing one.
Oh, yeah.
And another one. Oh. The other one is what I'm going to talk about tonight. And Dave, I don't know how you... missed out on this one.
Of this actually, I don't know why we.
Didn't.
Yeah.
I only got to hear stories because
You were smart.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, I was. I don't know what it was. It's just something in me still felt like I needed to somewhat hold on to my coolness because we did such a good live show, and this idea to me was just not what it needed to be, and I'm just like, yeah, I got stuff, I guess, or.
It was the right
truth
choice.
comes out. Yeah, I feel
really was.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Well, Keith, you can tag team this one with me because there's multiple angles need to be told for this one. So basically, we went. It was called a.
Hold on. Can we at least start on as Dave said? We just finished our first live show.
Colossally successful, sold out house,
like our little arena there and everything. It was fucking incredible. I was like, that's
burn the building down. Yeah, burn the building down. It was amazing.
It was fucking awesome.
So thought we were invincible at that point.
2 in a row is a good idea. Please continue.
I did not. I'm going to say 2 in a row is not a good idea.
No.
I remember.
No, yeah. I had that feeling where I was like, oh no, I'm good. I'm fucking on top of the world. I just killed. I'll kill again. Yep. Let's go.
This was a much smaller setting. It was a bar. Clinton's in Toronto. Oh, shit, I shouldn't say that maybe. Oh, who cares? But fine. Anyways, it was a bar.
What, are we going to get banned?
Yeah, they fucking owe us. It was, they called it an artist collective. It was an open mic night, basically. Yeah.
So, for starters, I'm just gonna feel it. It was pitched very different. Like I felt terrible for poor April.
My God.
April had set this up, and she got asked, right? Like she was like, "Hey, we heard you guys
old friend of hers, yeah.
So why don't you come do a show with us? We're doing this cool live show with it's all of our first questions were the right questions. We're like, well, we don't like mic up like what's the sound equipment? It's great. The whole place is mic'd. It's all omnidirectional. It's fucking 360 sound. Like, you guys are great. You don't have to worry about any of this. Like, it's set up. And I was like, fuck it, fine, let's go. Sorry,
Sweet.
Ryan. So continue.
And we had rehearsed so much for that first show, like so much. It was a couple days a week for a few months, and it was we were tight. We were tight with that live show. It was great, and it was like we're not a huge troupe, so the balls and the fact that we all couldn't make it and still be like, yeah, fine, we'll go.
We were as tight as a young man searching fucking Grinder for the first
blah blah
time,
blah 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 blah. Okay,
No,
no.
okay. Fucking hits a little too close for home, Ryan. Sorry. Continue. You were tight.
I was tight. I was actually not tight. I was only a slight part of the live show. The original live show started with me being fired on stage.
It was great.
And yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Which went rather well. And then...
Yeah, we all laughed at you. Not with you.
Yeah, I know. It was wonderful. So I'm not... Obviously, I don't have to tell you guys I'm not a fucking performer. You guys at least have done live bands your entire lives and played bars and stuff like that. So I was like nuclear nervous for like the live show, just even with my 2-minute bit that I was up there. So I was like fucking super nervous for like, because I was in the first 2 skits of the second live show that we did. We did a different list because Dave wasn't there. So I'm like looking for comfort from Keith, and Keith is just getting so angry so quickly because first of all, we show up there and not at all like it was pitched to us. We'll get to the audio bit. It's just the crowd not there to see comedy. We'll just start with that immediately. It was like the bands, or I think the girl leading into us was playing like, slow acoustic rock about her dad. Yeah. So to go from that leap into sketch comedy was not a natural one. And we were super late. And Keith was getting so fucking impatient. Like, I'm talking,
well, we
like,
weren't
legit
all super late.
Yeah. We were sitting there. I was sitting there with you. I'm trying to calm down and not feel nervous. And you're just like, I hate it here. I just want to get the fuck out of here. Because you've also got to catch a train home. This is in the city.
It was that night. You're right. I think you're right. I don't think I drove down. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's getting late. And then I don't know at what point the fucking sound guy comes over to us. He's like, okay, just a heads up. We've only got 1 microphone and it's not great. So 1 microphone and sketch comedy with, 3 to 4 people on the stage at any given point?
At any given time, yeah.
At any given point, especially with a duet later between you and Saffron where you guys... Anyway, feel free to jump in at any point. Yeah. Oh, God.
So here's the thing. If any of you have ever seen, sketch comedy or are aware of what a sketch comedy piece looks like,
we certainly don't.
A lot of passing a microphone back and forth in the middle while
Saturday Night Live,
character.
Chappelle Show. There's so many sketch comedies that you're aware of that you've probably never seen them passing microphones back and forth. Especially it's kind of just like passing, here's the punchline.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's so fucking deliberate. Well, oh God damn it!
So you couple that with the inexperience, and this is not through the fault of someone like April or yourself who just haven't done a lot of live performing music or otherwise. And your first instinct is, I have to make sure I get Keith the microphone before his line. So at the end of your line, it says, "Well, I've never been to the."
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, I'm sure. You had video of the event. I would have actually liked to watch it once.
I guarantee you Keith did the same thing I did with the Bowen the pictures, just to find it, erase it.
It's the best.
A magnet from across the room.
Derek sent it to me maybe a year ago.
Oh, no way.
He said, I found some magic, and he sent it. I downloaded it because I thought it was just going to be some garbage movie for us to watch. I got all excited. And I was like, I was right. It is a garbage movie, but I wasn't going to watch it. And I turned it on, and I was like, nope. It was, honestly, I was like, I couldn't watch it. And eventually, it just sat on my computer mocking me for a long time until I just said, I got to get rid of this.
Yeah, as someone that feeds his soul off Schadenfreude, and the things when bad things happen to good people.
I should give it to you if I can find it.
Oh God!
That was magnet wiped. That wasn't fucking like
Hearing about it still, even to this day, I don't know why I'm smiling. It's like one of those few things in my life. Just like, you know what? I bet you if I was there, I could have pulled it off.
Fuck off!
There's no chance.
You arrogant sack of shit. So here's the best
but it's
part.
so good to hear.
So we go do the first sketch.
If I had a time machine, I would not go back and see Dead Relatives. I would take Dave to this gig and watch sad Dave sit on the fucking sidelines
and just try. He'd still
while
not
the
do
poor
it. He'd be like,
while the
David,
poor
I
woman's
can't save this.
I wouldn't do it. I was still sad, Dave, but I was still thinking I was cool, Dave. There's not a chance that I'd be like, nope, not today, bud. Like, you got to follow your Jedi instincts sometimes and listen to it. It's not like Obi-Wan kind of just was like, nah, you know what? I got a bad feeling about this Anakin kid, but I'm just going to let it roll.
Yeah.
Let's just see how it turns out.
Let's see what happens.
So,
and
I don't know
So
how.
I'll
Go ahead,
get
Ryan, please.
into my bit here because fortunately I was only on stage for the first 2 skits, so I was done fairly early, and then I had to watch You Poor People. So I was done and I was off the stage. And like the worst part is the first skit we did the Bieber one with me, you, and Derek.
Right.
And we were supposed to be playing video games, and like we're sitting on stools, and like we're trying to pass the controller and the microphone back, and it was just the most labored, awful. So I got to walk off the stage and leave after that and watch You Poor People.
So the funniest part about that was right after the first sketch, we all walk off, and there's no one sitting around being like, huh? I'm having a hard time reading the crowd. All 4 of us go, fuck this. And so Derek just grabs me and goes, give me the mic. I'm going to go up. I'm going to do 15 minutes. He's like, you put together your 15 minutes of stand-up. You go up and do 15 minutes, and we're going to get the fuck out of here.
Mid-show.
So, we were so close to just doing a half-hour stand-up comedy and leaving.
that would have been...
I don't know if that would have been better
so
or worse.
So much better.
Yeah.
I don't
Because
know why
here's the
we
thing.
didn't.
Like I said, Keith had to sing. Saffron had to sing too. So they really had to try. And you guys did try. And I'm sitting there with a bunch of disinterested people eating fucking chicken wings. And it's it's
ever
murder.
Feeling like a
somebody
pariah
eat a
too,
fucking
right?
bunch of chicken wings watching you do sketch comedy? That is fucking life-changing. I can tell you what.
Tell them about your epiphany. You had your epiphany
Okay.
moment.
So there are moments in your life where
You step outside yourself and you see yourself.
you remember, like there's probably, I feel like if I ever wrote a book on this, I'd be like our 5 moments, It's like the first time that you saw your parents fighting, so 0 for me. The first time like you saw a naked member of the opposite sex, and then the moment where you just realize it's over. Like where you're like, and I'm definitely about to have moment number 3 in my life. So there is a sketch. For people who don't know, I can do a pretty solid Elmo. I feel pretty comfortable in my Elmo impression.
It's bang on.
It's
so
spot on.
We have designed this thing in our sketch where I will play Elmo from behind a fake brick wall that we've built. What did we do for that? Because I certainly wasn't.
That was cardboard.
I didn't
It was
fucking
cardboard
travel
sense.
with that, though. I'm not traveling with a fucking cardboard brick in downtown Toronto.
you were
let's
behind-
bring an Elmo.
You were behind a pile of chicken wing bones that were just thrown off to the side.
Just stacked.
And to be fair, like I said, this skit, again, killed at the Good Live show. The Elmo one murdered it. It was awesome.
Well, it turns out I do better when I can feed off of a crowd. So if I'm feeling good energy, then I can be like, hey, that was pretty solid.
Because it's the indignant of the way you're sitting as a puppeteer on a.
That's
the
get to it,
indignance-
Keith. I'm
So
salivating.
You're spot on, Dave. So what happens is, I don't know what to show you because I'm not sure what is the saddest part of it. So this is also about halfway through of our show.
Oh yeah, about
Show.
yeah.
So I'm behind this pile of chicken wings, and poor Elmo's just sitting over top. So I'm like this, behind a pile of shit. So for starters, we set up our live show, the first one. I could see the crowd, so I could kind of be Elmo making fun of it. The whole idea is supposed to be that I'm playing off of what Saffron was cheating on me because like the puppeteer and her were having a thing. It was a funny bit. And then I could make fun of people in the crowd. It doesn't work as well when you can't see anyone and there's no one you give a shit about and you hate your life. So that is the collection of the perfect storm that's happening at this moment. As I'm behind this thing, I can see one person doing this.
Just a stink face.
Oh my god!
Just give me this. I haven't started. I was like, and so I've got my arm up a fucking puppet's ass. I'm sitting behind this pile of shit. I'm probably 34, 35 at this point. This isn't.
Yeah, you got all your kids.
You know, I got kids, and I'm like, I was like, what am I fucking doing with my life? I am behind a goddamn pile of whatever clothes they've left behind with an Elmo doll and a woman from Toronto just give me the indignant stink eye. You know what I mean? I was like, this is fucking nonsense. I think at one point during it, I just Elmo voiced it and was like, don't give a fuck off. I was like, I was over it. You know what I mean? And I was like, and like, don't you want to look at the people, Elmo? I'm like, no, fuck that. Elmo said. And I was just like, that's that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ryan sitting like Judas in the crowd, just like staring, not saying anything, trying to just sink into the wall.
Yeah. Well, initially I was trying to like build the crowd up with more laughs. Then I was so alone that I was embarrassed.
Oh, were you trying
that
to
I was
be canned laughter? That's amazing.
Yeah. I was trying to work the crowd. So one of my
you don't
favorite
know when
parts.
to laugh.
No, I was like fucking Joaquin's Joker, man. It was awful. So before I think it was like before we even started, I'm like, so Keith, what's our outro here? He's like, I don't know. Me and April are gonna walk off the stage. We're gonna do our Cougar skit last. We'll walk off the stage. He's like, just you go up there, thank everybody for coming out, and send them to our website or whatever. I'm like, okay, fine. So
yeah, that's where I want them at that point.
Yeah, Keith and April, they walk off, and early, like the 1/4 point of where the sketch should have ended probably.
Yeah.
And they just kind of ramble off into the crowd, and I get up on stage. I'm like, okay, guys, thanks. If any of you happen to enjoy that, feel free to check us out, nocturnalemmissions.com. And Keith from the crowd is like, it's .ca. It's .ca. Fuck it.
Sorry,
wrong website.
Line, I apologize.
He's like, it's .ca. It's fine.
The guy in the show doesn't know the name of it. That's cool.
We weren't getting a lot of hits off that show anyway, I don't think.
No.
So I walk off stage.
Dried up for us.
I walk off the stage and I walk directly to the bar. Oh. And out of respect, nobody's making eye contact with me at all.
Sad it killed Ryan's feed.
Oh, I'm still here. Yeah, okay, you're back.
Sorry, there we go. Go ahead. Sorry, start that part again.
I walked right to the bar. I started drinking immediately. And then there was like this middle bar section. So I went back and I walked through the middle bar, and there's Saffron with her friends just bawling her poor fucking eyes out. Like, it was... She brought like 5... I brought 2 people. And I felt like, embarrassed that my friend saw that. But she brought like...
I brought a puppet. I brought a puppet, man.
Oh, I forgot the part. Again, we did a PlayStation skit. You couldn't find your controller at the end of the night for a long time, and you were so
Really?
just like,
Yeah.
I did not lose my fucking controller over this. No, fuck.
It was. I brought a puppet and shame. That's what I brought with me to that show.
Derek, I wish he was with us. He's not dead. I wish he was on the podcast.
That's
for Derek. Yeah. Derek next morning logged on our Facebook page, and his status was just whoops. That's it. Destroyed me.
It made it all worth it, to be honest.
No, it did not.
Look, at the end of the day, you gotta, we've been riding so high at that point.
I hadn't heard about the show or had it done. I think I had a show that night, like a music show, so I wasn't able to make it. That was booked. Anyway, that was the first I heard of how that show went. Was I logged on the next day to Facebook and I just saw Nocturnal Emissions. Whoops! Like, best give Keith the call. See what the skinny is.
Oh,
see, I heard it in Derek's voice, like whoops.
It was pretty perfect.
Yep.
Yeah,
not awkward so much as just
sad.
an absolute sadness.
Yeah, just a miss, you know.
But you know what's wonderful is that, Ryan, for your first like live show experience, to have a complete
second,
like it's a bomb. Like to have a
point.
bomb is just
that's fair.
Now, having said that, I've never bombed the way that you guys bombed that night. That bomb sounds like the fact that it's a legendary bomb.
Oh, sorry.
I bet you if you went to Clinton's
Dave,
and the owner was still there, he could probably tell you about the night that this fucking sketch comedy troupe came up. It would he'd have a memory of it. You know what I mean? That's a good bomb.
The funny part is,
has it.
You could go to a stand-up comedy club and play music and do way better. You can't go to a fucking open mic night and try sketch comedy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You know what people eating chicken wings don't want to do? See sketch comedy.
No.
Yeah.
And like thinking of going even to like improv courses or like going to Second City or something like that, it needs to be, it's like going to a restaurant that's kind of out of the way. It's a destination. You need to go there because that's going to make it worthwhile. If people want to laugh, they're going to go there. But if you're going to hear some girl, 18-year-old girl sing a song about her estranged dad, then going right into an Elmo sketch after that's tough. You need to be set up in comedy. Like when we did our live show.
Actually, Dave, to be fair, we went directly into a rape sketch. So
it's true. That was the opener.
Yep.
So like when we were in so much control of the first show, we sold tickets, we controlled the atmosphere, we controlled the time, we controlled everything about it, which is what you need if you're going to set people up to laugh. And people were open to laughing, and it was amazing. They were not. That wasn't the demo that you guys needed to go to that night.
Is this not the demo, Dave? Is this not the demo?
The Schadenfreude's delicious.
And I can see her mouthing it like, why is he so fat? Is he so fat? Are all puppeteers this fat? All right, let's move on from that nightmare. Jesus. Ryan, anything else you want to close out on? Because that was fun.
No, Dave, you should cleanse our palates right now with something. Could you please?
Nope.
Let me guess, Dave, something with poop?
Nope, I got nothing. You know what's if we're going to stay with awkward things, awkward situations.
The theme.
When I had
if we're going to keep doing a podcast, I guess sorry, go on.
So I'm in between employment right now, and one of the weird things that happened to me, this really didn't lead to me being in between, but like in a few months back, I got called into the office where I was a manager at this store, and my boss pulled me into our office, and he wanted to talk to me, and he had this serious look, and I'm like, I'm a pretty exemplary employee. I don't, I like to make jokes. I like to whatever, but he's like, so we need to have a quick talk. And for me, instantly, it sends anxiety down.
Nobody likes those words at all. In any setting. No.
I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I'm open and honest with this guy. The guy's a friend of mine, and just like, what the action? He's like, you've had a complaint, a sexual harassment complaint about you. I'm like, and my jaw hit the ground. Like, you want to talk about feeling awkward? I'm a father of 2 daughters. I'm a father, and I'm mortified, and I don't know what's going on. And he's like, I just wanted to give you a heads up. I'm getting a call from our big head office guy at
this is a chain where Dave works.
This is a major chain.
This is like the moment these things come out, it's pretty much, it's like anything. It's like, it's like the moment this kind of comes out, it's just like, well, it's over. It doesn't matter if you did it or not kind of situation. Right?
Yeah. The accusation of this one would have been enough.
So I'm just sitting now on an office chair, and he's like, you know what? I'll give you a moment.
No.
And so he leaves me. He leaves the office, walks out, and I sit and stare at my phone. I'm text my wife. I'm like, I need you to call me if you can. Like, I don't know what's going on right now.
You're
mortified.
Hold on, you are literally doing the thing on that show that Ryan and I love, the To Catch a Predator, where the guy's got the phone call and he has to call his wife to tell him when he's going to
Is that part of it? I've never seen this show. It just made me natural.
No, I'm downtown, honey. Actually, no, I'm not at work.
I know I said I was going to go for some wings at Clifton's, but no, something else has come up.
And so I've got no idea what's going on. I just need someone to talk to me and kind of Like I go outside, have a smoke, and I walk back in about 5 minutes later, and I walk back in. My boss he kind of just looking at me. He starts smiling. And I'm like, what? And he, I'm mortified. I'm like gray. He's like, you look. Why do you look so pale? When I'm like, dude, are you serious? So, he goes on to explain to me, a few months back, we hired Keith's son, and Keith's son, and my boss decided to have. Because I had gone out and had a cigarette, and I actually have a couple friends, and I'm like, something big's going on, and people can see I'm visibly upset. I am like, their staff now are thinking, okay, what's wrong with what is wrong with him? He is mortified right now. It has ruined my day for a good.
Talking to the kids before he gets arrested, guys. I might be going away for a little while.
Yeah, you're the man now.
Just sulking around like. I'm like, if there was a rain cloud that could have been over my head, just like a foot over, it would have been on top of me, just pouring. Like that's how solemn I look. So he tells me that Keith's son has created this accusation about me, and he tells it with a bit of a smirk, and then he just starts smiling more and smiling more. I'm like, is this horseshit right now? Like, So I walk out. I'm like, all right, here's what I'm gonna do, and I start. Because I already have my awkward moment. So what I decided to do is I walk right up to Keith's son, and I just look him straight in the eye. I'm like, I just got fired. And he goes pale because he's in on it thinking that it's going to be funny. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on with you in your life right now, but that kind of shit's not fucking acceptable. I hope whatever. I don't even know what to say to you right now. You tell your dad you can fuck off. Your dad can fuck off. I don't want to talk to you guys again. And I storm out the building.
Dave, I can remember the scene on Key of Z where you shook down Jacob. So I've seen you shake down a tween before.
I'm great at shaking down tweens.
You menacing.
Here's the other side. So first of all, my son is the sweetest kid on the planet. I put him up to this. So I set all this up. So he said something along the lines of, Dave, Dave always fucks with my son because he knows him and it's fine. It's fun.
Yeah.
So he just grabs him and, pushes him or something. I was like, you need to go and you need to tell James. I'll tell James that it's all a setup, but you need to get Dave accused of sexual assault. Harassment. Like he's touched you inappropriately at the workplace. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that at all.
Because let's be really clear,
funny. So
that's the only setting you have.
Oh,
your son is a sweet boy.
Yeah. So the only real victim in this is my son, who's gotten it twice now.
Now he got it from the other side. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Keep going, yeah. And so then, yeah.
No, as soon as I was aware of it, I had to make sure that I put my sniper out. Like someone else has to feel pain too,
definitely,
in like a guilt or whatnot too, and unsuspecting pain. Someone else must feel this embarrassment and awkwardness.
And I felt nothing. I thought it was great. I thought everything
yeah,
was
really.
Awesome.
Well, I asked him to go and relay the message, and you're right. Your kid's just so sweet. He just can't. He's just like, and so when I walked back in, and he just kind of, he smiled at me, and I'm like, and what that moment for me was just like, huh. Like he really didn't give a shit that I just told him like he really didn't care. I just told him that I got fired for a joke. And
you should have sent Xavier home with a little fake shiner or something like that. Like, well, thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Either way, that was a brief, one of my most recent kind of like, oh my God, the world is on its ear moments.
That's a really good point. Actually, yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, well. Again, I've seen my son in those situations, and you're right. He kind of does get this weird thing. I think it's almost like he doesn't want to believe that he's in the situation.
He gets poker faced. He just goes poker faced.
It would have been amazing if he was just putting shit away, and you're like, I just lost my job, and he's like, oh, okay. And then just pretty much he's putting shit away. All right, bye. Bye, Dave.
It's been a pleasure.
Bye. Yeah.
Let me know if you need a reference.
Oh, that's fucking great. Oh, shit. That's awesome. That's great.
No, and I 5 minutes after that too, I realized that was probably one of the greatest things that's ever happened.
That was a good one.
It was great. It was good. Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, I liked hearing that all play out from it was like an old radio show for me, it was an old talkie.
I get elected to the student union, which is amazing. I get elected my second year, so it's been 2 years now I've been on it. The second year I get elected into the VP of Internal Affairs position. It's amazing. They decide to fly us out to Vancouver. The school's in London, Ontario, and they fly us out to Vancouver for a student union conference, which is absolutely incredible. And it's just all 21-year-old kids that are like, student leaders and really want to be involved with their schools. It's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity. Went with another guy that was in my union, and we had a great time. We had shared a room.
Imagine Positive Dave? That's so weird.
I was gonna say I do not know the gentleman he's describing here.
This is like Dave organizing pep rallies.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't good at it.
Okay. Okay.
The honorarium was sweet, and the weekly meetings were whatever.
Anyway, those hot internal affairs student council women that you were hitting on.
They weren't relying on me to make a lot of effective change. I was like pretty much a current MP. You know what I mean? Where it's just like I got briefed on stuff.
Obama.
No, I was not.
Student leaders. Sorry,
and
continue.
And so anyway, we're at this conference. It's awesome. Vancouver's amazing. I'd been out there when I was really young, but to actually be at UBC and like experience some of downtown Vancouver, it was absolutely amazing.
That'd be cool.
And so one of the nights, we're there for 3 nights, and one of the nights, all of us, I'll wait till Ryan's done pouring his drink. I'm
listening. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm on the floor, but I'm on the edge of my seat.
Sound like my dad. So I think it's the second or third night. We're all gathering. So all the students, like we've gone through our a couple conferences, and we're gonna go out. So we go to a floating sushi bar. It's really cool. It's like I'm a kid experiencing some big city stuff with kids my own age. It's amazing. Yeah. And one of the guys there, it's BC. They decide like and this is a big dude. This guy's like more like near his 30s. He decides that he goes and he buys a bunch of mushrooms. All right, because he's going for a second, tour dirty, trying to get a degree that he really wants. Anyway, he's the adult. Yeah, he's an adult
student.
He buys a bag of shrooms, like a huge bag of shrooms, and I've never done mushrooms ever in my life. Okay. And so we all take mushrooms. We have a great night. Mushrooms, I didn't know that it was pretty much the greatest laughing experience of my life. Had a great time.
Yeah, explain it, because I've never done them, so please.
That's what it is.
So mushrooms is just, if you're in the right setting, you will not stop laughing until you either die, your belly explodes. It's wonderful. It's joyful, and it's bliss. And so we decided to take a cab
Not that
back.
We're advocating them.
I do. Yeah. And fuck. So I'm with my friend who I'm in the student union with, and a bunch of these other student leaders that I look up to and admire, all really incredible people. We're all high as shit. And we're in a cab. We split like 2 or 3 cabs to go back to campus. And the cab driver that picked us up was East Indian. Oh, and I fancy myself a fun guy. I've been cracking one-liners. We're laughing left, right, and center. And I don't realize until we get back to the campus that the entire car is no longer laughing, and I've been speaking in an East Indian accent for probably the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh no!
And
did you give us a sample?
No, Jay, the guy I'm there with, he just looks over at me and he's like, "Dude, that's not cool." And I. Oh, no. You could have poured me out the bottom of the car, and I just slunked behind everybody else laughing. I just like immediately
mop you up with a ShamWow.
Oh, not even. But I wasn't even really aware of it. I was just so high. It was not. It was probably the most awkward or most embarrassed I've ever been in my life, because it wasn't like I was even cracking one-liners. I was talking about weather. I was talking about like
poor bastard. Just trying to fucking drive you home.
And I'm high as shit. And there's like 5 of us in this van.
So what did he do with his $75 tip that you hopefully gave?
That's the worst part. Dave's a college student, so he's poor.
And that's
I'm
true.
poor as shit.
Like a piece of chicken or something.
Yeah,
and I something racist.
I could not. You want to talk about? And it was completely. And there's nothing innocent, or it was completely accidental. It was. It was
involuntary, even
just
involuntary.
Out. That's okay.
Yeah, it was just a complete fucking asshole coming out of my natural state of happiness. So from there, that really is the pin. Like
man.
that's for me. If I'm going back in my psychology, that's the pin where like the darkness took over. That's when I realized that I'm. You know what? I'm not.
That was one of your 5. That was one of your 5 moments.
That was for me. That was just like that's my turn.
Cliftons.
That's my turn to the dark side. Where it's just
That
like
was your
there's
hand
no
up a puppet's ass. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no salvation here that I could. There's no charity work I could do. There's no amount of children I could learn to become a neurosurgeon and save countless lives. I'll never be able to take that moment back. And so it's just like, what's the point?
I've never even seen an Indian homeless person, so I don't know what good you're going to do there. Never seen that before. I don't know if that exists. That's like a baby pigeon. Has anyone seen that?
Harry and the Hendersons.
Are you implying that all Indian people are Sasquatch, Dave? Oh my God. What's wrong with you? I'm going to give you this look now.
It still stings. Like the Bowen one.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how it feels for him.
Yeah, no.
The Bowen one was
he's
when
doing
I knew
great.
it was over. It was like, so after I already had this like ingrained in the back of my psyche, once the Bowen thing happened for me, it was just like, you know what? And you know what?
You learned
And I just
nothing.
started,
You learned nothing from that experience.
I'm just drinking from now on.
Oh, that's great. Holy fuck, that's funny. Did
It's
the guy...
not.
But it's funny for me. It's funny for me to hear the story of your shame. Like,
It's funny that-
that's great.
The
Like, as
Bowen,
awkward
the
moments
Bowen
go-
experience. Go ahead. Go, sorry.
As awkward moments go, like everybody else's moment was completely
As they
awkward.
go.
Like there's a quick it was just awkward for everybody else. For me, it was fucking just complete. Like it was like falling. It was like driving Thelma Louise style off a cliff of happiness. You know what I mean?
Just holding hands with this poor
Yeah.
driver and saying
That's-
racist shit
they
all
could-
the way off the side of the cliff.
No, I'm thinking him and I are simpatico. I have no idea. Like I do Hans and Franz. Like I'm trying to be an impressionist at that time too, right? So I am just
hold on, stop, because I don't give a fuck about anything else. Please tell me, at 21 years old, you had a legitimate goal of being an impressionist. Because I've heard you
Yeah.
do like no impressions, and they're not very good.
I wanted to be in like a sketch comedy. In sketch
Right.
comedy, I wanted to be able to do like I could imitate people's voices. So I thought like, oh yeah, that's
Could
where I
you
was
do an
aiming
Indian
at.
person? Just let us hear it.
This
what?
triggers one for me.
Like
for
an Indian
Keith.
person or something? Maybe you could do it
No,
right now?
no, I couldn't do that. It's 2019. Listen, I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna throw one. I'll throw a random one out to you. Apu from The Simpsons.
So yes, I could do a poo from The Simpsons. Will I? Because I don't think Hank Azaria will do it anymore either.
Yeah, fair.
Dear God.
Speaking of impressions,
fuck,
we
here we
were
go.
we were
what
shooting
he's
this
doing
one. Yeah, this is another memory card I want. One of the great things about Keith is his confidence is completely unflappable. He thinks he's literally capable of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So we shot. This is one of the ones we shot. We never
For a
even
while.
edited. Because, yeah, it was not great. There was like we're gonna do kind of on the heels of Saturday Night Live was doing like the the found Star Wars auditions and stuff like that, and the new Batman was coming out. Keith is like, let's do that. Let's do some impressions. None of us do impressions.
No.
And like Keith can, he's got the Great Elmo, and he can mess around with a few other ones. And he's like, I'm gonna do a Robin Williams, and I'm like, can you do Robin Williams? He's like, I assume I can. And like, I went with this man to fucking Value Village and picked out a Hawaiian shirt the day before. He tried the sheet.
Didn't try the impression at all.
I was gonna say you tried the shirt on, you didn't try the impression on at all. So, like, actually, Davey, you did a good. I think you did Dave Matthews on the guitar,
Yeah, it was
and
pretty good.
that one,
Yeah,
that was the
Dave
only
was
one. Like Steve, Keith got so mad at me. I had curlier hair then, and I looked exactly like Seth Rogen, but I couldn't do Seth Rogen, and I tried, and Keith got so mad.
Yeah.
And the day is not going well.
How dare you? How dare you not just be able to do this?
Oh.
Yeah, that's okay. That's,
Is that
he
Xavier?
was like, I know where this is headed.
So anyway, Keith is
yeah.
like, he's gonna finish. It's just the two of us in the
Hold on.
basement.
I'm gonna add a little bit more just to my own shame.
Oh, good.
Like we went out to get costumes. I had so many times that I could have just given it a shot at any of those to do this impression just to see if I could do it.
You were driving.
Didn't
And
try.
you know what?
over there.
I had faith in you that you could do it.
So did I.
You know,
I had real faith in me that I could do it.
it was just the two of us in the basement. He's like, okay, just make sure I'm in frame because I don't know how to use a camera. Keith like pushes the button. He's like, all right. And he goes out there. And this is an impression of his impression and just the moment where he broke. He's like, ooh, I'm Batman. Joker stole my jokes. Fuck it. Fuck this fucking shit. And like storms off camera and is like ripping the Hawaiian shirt off.
I can't even get mad. You're absolutely right.
I'm like, if I knew how to operate a camera, I would have gone in and taken the memory card out and just stuck it in my pocket because you're not somebody who angers easily. We've been friends a long time. No, true. I've seen you angry like 4 times in the history of our friendship. That was Chernobyl.
I can get mad at me the fastest.
Oh yeah, you hate yourself for sure.
Oh, that's come on, of course. But yeah,
so when you
right.
fuck up, oh my god.
The worst part is whole way home. I'm like, Chief. What do you say, Chief? You know, I'm like.
Yeah, we discovered you could do serious Robin. You could do serious Robin, really. Right?
Well, Chief. It's okay. Yeah. Oh, haha. And I'm like, no, I'm shit. I don't know why I thought I could do this. This is garbage. You know,
it was very ho ho ha ha based.
It was like it's one of the easiest impressions, and I couldn't have done it worse. Oh God, I was. So
you did not want a second tape. You were like, fuck this shit, and I thought you were gonna push over one of the light stands on your way out. Like you did a walkout, and there was only 2 of us there. Like so,
it was bad. It was not my shine.
I hit stop. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for smoke.
I am less proud of that moment than the moment I had on stage with Elmo. It was not my finest hour.
I would pay a lot of money for footage of either. Actually, no, I don't want to see Clinton's at all.
No, was it Clinton's? I thought it was Clifton's. Fuck, Jesus.
It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't.
Not on our resume.
We were telling sweet innocent stories tonight, so that's great. Yeah, I had a fun one that I was gonna do, just a little fucking jaunty jolly, you know.
Let's just call this one shame.
That is really what this one is. Yeah,
this is just shame.
Sorry, did you have another one there that you wanted to say?
If you want to get into fucking shame, I've got like I told you, I've got like a couple ideas on a notepad, but like if I flip the page to shame,
this is a deep well.
Pulls out a different spiral notebook altogether.
Where did you get your psychology degree? Because I would be happy to open up.
It's like it's like the rack focus, you know, the jaws just, you know what I mean? Every time where's the shame shot? Yeah, so I was just going to tell a quick one. So started working at this one restaurant, and just in the back in the kitchen, and there's a waitress that works there, and she's very cute. It's a first day, and me and just one other cook in the back, and I feel like this waitress is flirting a little bit, and I'm just being nice, and I'm like, damn, she's pretty cool. And so I start asking the guy about the kitchen. He's like, yeah, her name's like whatever, you know, and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, and I'm nervous, you know. I'm like still kind of. I'm not the confident fucking Robin Williams impressionist that you know. And so I was like, could you talk to her for me? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, okay. And so I'm waiting, and he comes back, and I was like, what? Like, is she single? And he's like, oh no, she's not single. And I was like, fuck, man, why didn't you say? He goes, oh, well, she's my girlfriend. And I was like, what? This dude went out to talk to his girlfriend on my behalf. I was like, why didn't you say anything? I was like, I didn't know what to say. I was like, is this a joke?
Is that actually? Did he legit, or did he just go talk to his girlfriend for a minute?
It would have been exactly what I would have done. Man, for sure. I'll go talk to her for you.
100%.
So do you want to fuck the new guy, honey? No. Okay.
This guy was so beta that I'm inclined to believe he did maybe throw it out there. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't know what to tell him. Like he's kind of into you. Like, how do you feel? And she was probably like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?" Yeah, it was something.
We're going to your parents for dinner after work tonight. You fucking psycho.
45 minutes into the shift. That's when this happens. Wow. I've got a long shift with this dude showing me the ropes at that point.
Oh, man. And her.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't care anymore. I was like, oh, whatever, Chief. And I was like, it's fine.
Hey, Keith, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Like, he just keeps coming closer and closer. It's not your fault, Chief. Not you, man.
His wife's dead. Oh, God.
He grabs me by the throat. Oh, for fuck's sake. Jesus.
Ryan.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Ryan, anything awkward? Like anything anything on your day-to-day?
Oh,
there you
is
go.
My day-to-day.
There you go, right there. Perfect.
There he is. Hey-yo.
Trying to think. I wrote a couple down here. I have a bunch of little ones. I don't have any heavy hitters like we've gotten into. I don't know if I told
Christmas. It's like you don't need to open the big present. Just open the small ones. You know, open your nans, your uncles, open them all up. Let's go.
All right. I told Keith, Dave might not know this, but Dave, not too long ago, I got myself another ticket.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And guess what I was fucking listening to when I got the ticket?
Get so many tickets.
I don't know.
I was listening to our fucking podcast.
Yeah, very nice.
And I was doing my usual thing where I'm like,
Yeah.
skip. That's Keith. Dave, skip. Okay, there I am, and like rewind. I was doing that usual thing.
Don't skip past me, Chief.
Anyway,
I still can't do it.
Nope.
It's getting a little. You're throwing a little bit more southern drawl at the end of each one here.
It's fine. It's not.
Anyway,
this is
okay.
not.
It was a very shirt-based impression. Okay, so I got pulled over, texting and driving, and this was on the way to Blue Mountain. So I'm kind of in the Wasaga area, and this fucking cop is on a four-wheeler, like a quad, and he pulls me over on a quad, and I'm just like
Baywatch.
No, I was picturing like Steve Guttenberg. Was it like the fourth one where he's on beach patrol anyway?
It might have been Steve Guttenberg.
Really? The guy was, he was cool, and he warned me because in Ontario we just like literally doubled the ticket for texting and driving from like $500 to $1,000.
Right.
And he's like, "Don't fucking do this again." And I don't fucking do it anymore. And he also said, "Listen, just
It's been a week.
Yeah.
Good job, Ryan.
Go to.
Sorry.
He's
side
like,
note. I'm so arrogant that I almost tried a Steve Guttenberg impression. Until I realized there's absolutely no possible
Stop
way
everything.
to do a
Stop
Steve
everything.
Gutenberg impression. No,
Please,
I was like,
just-
I can do that.
If
Just
anybody,
a
yeah,
taste.
of course you
Just
can.
a taste. A taste.
No, I got nothing because I don't even remember what he sounds like. That's the worst part. I start doing the special effects, sound effects guy.
I was going to wait for it.
Well, I can't do that either. So sorry, Ryan. $1,000.
Yeah, and he tells me, he's like, "Listen, I'll level with you." He's like, just fight it. Go to the. And I'm not arguing at all, but he's cool.
Cop telling you this.
Yeah. He's like, and I've heard cops do this. He's like, "I'll level with you. Just show up at the courthouse, plead not guilty. They'll cut it in half for you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." He's like, "You'll get a thing in the mail, a summons, and just say not guilty. They'll mail you back with a date." So I show up to the court date, and I'm really nervous because this is like a trial to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like a lot of people there, and it's like in an actual courthouse. It's like super official.
no,
like in
it's
smaller
real,
towns, in smaller towns you do it in like an office or something like that. But this is a fucking courthouse. It's big, and I'm first up because they want to start big.
That's nice.
So yeah, so they're like Ryan LeClaire, and I stand up. And Keith is gonna find this difficult to believe, but like, I was nowhere near the microphone in the courtroom. I was like still standing way back at the table, like way back. Like if I was I was like if I was an actor in an audition, they'd be like, "Wow, what a brave choice! What a brave choice to play it all the way back."
On stage at a live show.
That show was my fault. So I don't know what to fucking do, and like I'm eventually in the mic like this, and like, "Yes, Your Honor."
God, amazing.
"Yes, Your Honor." And then he's like, "Okay, then." So
you're the kind of guy a judge just looking at you wants to, like, judges are people too, and they're like, he watches you act, and he's just like, he's got to be like, I want to make him guilty now. Like, you know what I mean? If I was a judge, I'd be like, I'm kind of not listening anymore. It's just like, you're guilty.
Your Honor,
Ryan
I'd like
just
to
has that
defend
punchable
myself.
Face. That's the judge version of punchable,
Right.
It's like, I just want to fucking slap him with the full fine.
Yep.
Keep going.
So I left. I left early. He's like, okay, so it'll be a blah blah blah, fine. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And then I like leave, and they're like,
Oh, no.
no, you have to do. They're like, they have to announce it and like make it efficient. Yeah, and the gaveling and stuff like that. So that's just day-to-day awkward for Ryan LeClaire. Like,
How much did they cut it down?
I think I have 250 from 5.
It's all right.
Still a lot. Don't text and drive, anybody.
Worth it. Yeah, worth it.
And
If
do
you
not
wanna-
listen.
If you
do
want to
not
skip ahead,
do
in
not
the podcast,
skip
yeah.
to Ryan's parts in the podcast and drive.
Well, don't
'cause-
pick
That
it
reminds
up.
me, we should shout out to a fan, Yuli. I know she listens to a lot of these, so that's very nice. She keeps skipping towards the end to hear the songs. She likes the songs, so that was very nice.
Fair enough.
She
Download
asked
the
for one of
download.
yours specifically, Dave, so now cut it up.
She would have. Yeah, you know what? She would have seen the sadness already.
Oh, she
Yuli.
knows you're sad. Oh, that's the one. Did I not send you guys that text?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
she
hold
was.
on.
Yeah, she likes
did.
sad
Hold
Dave.
on. I'm going to read it out because it's great. So this was a direct quote. So
I think I have it here too.
okay, yeah. You're going to lose 80% of your listens because I'll always come back for the new ones. Anytime I'm sad or having a bad day, I can always count on Dave is also sad. That's a 15-year-old kid filled with hope that said that. That's the effect you've had on her, sir.
Well, that's
Dave,
nice.
you're on a podcast with me, and you're the sad one.
Yeah. And if I wanted to be straight up with Yuli, I could tell her a bunch of shit she can expect. But I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, hang on to your 15-year-old fucking attitude right now, bud. Good for you. Yeah, I'm sad. See you in 25.
Could you berate our only listener, please?
Seriously. Here's your one fan.
Tell me I'm fucking sad. I know I'm sad. You telling me that?
Oh, good Lord. That's a 15-year-old kid he just said that to.
Well,
Oh,
you're old enough to
goodness.
fucking download. You're old enough to take the pain,
Still going.
I guess.
Still going.
I'm not excited for my kids to turn into teenagers because that's going to get real quick.
Oh, God, I angry.
Are you sad, Daddy? Oh, I'm sweating.
you know
I'm
what?
sweating for
Fuck.
that. Holy shit.
That's the worst, Ryan, because I actually got asked that tonight by my daughter.
Oh, I can hardly think of a worse question to ask you.
Ooh, fuck. I am not a good person. I'm fine. It's fine. This is good.
You are literally the walking embodiment of that meme, the one where the dog is like sitting in the fire. It says, "This is fine."
Yeah.
That's you.
I've never once heard Dave say this is fine.
Oh,
Oh, Chief.
I have, but it's always in those moments when it's not
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh my God. Oh shit. Okay, how many more of these do we want to do? Because you're right, shame could just go on forever.
Yeah, Shane could
I'm
go.
approaching low battery here, so I know Keith has something in the vault.
All right, so I'll tell this one because this is ridiculous. So I'm gonna tell you guys about so if for anyone who doesn't know, my dad, is the guy who raised me is not my dad, not my biological father. I didn't
Guess what?
hilarious.
I've known Keith 13 years.
Yeah, about that. A little longer.
Found
I
this
think.
out.
Yeah.
Found this out talking about the podcast and what we were going to do this week.
Yeah.
I had no
You
idea.
didn't know that?
I did not fucking know. I knew that his dad was not close, and he was
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, no. Like my biological dad fucked off or whatever. And hey, good on my crazy dad. He's the only dad I've known, and he's fucking. I'll always like I'll joke about it because it was a fucking hilarious, fun upbringing. But the dude did his diligence, man. He stuck around when when the other guy wouldn't. So he's awesome. Not incredible at handling situations. That's what I would say. That if I was to Robin Williams, my dad, it would be that these moments aren't great.
Not his fault. Not his fault.
No, definitely not. So I can tell you the moment I found out, I was 11, and this just wasn't news to me. You know what I mean? We just now in their defense, I actually loved it. I think it was the right choice. They're just like, I don't fuck it. You're my kid, and that's just the way it goes. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a big deal.
No, it's incredibly noble.
And that's great for day to day. But on this one situation, maybe wait till the story's done before you praise them.
That's incredibly great for day to day.
For day to day, 100%.
That's my favorite.
My dad put
line.
in the work, and he's
my God.
I love him for it. So me and my brothers are fucking around. We're about to have a sock fight. I think I've mentioned sock fights before, right?
You have mentioned sock fights. Yep.
Yeah. Take an old sock, throw a pair of socks into the sock, turn out the lights, and whack the shit out of each other. It's fun as hell. Strongly recommend it for all the kids. I'm looking for a good pair of woolies, like, my dad's pair or whatever, because they hit harder. And as I open up their drawer, I would have much rather found weed or a dildo. I found my birth certificate. And so
shit.
Yeah. And so my birth certificate says that my last name is Powell. And I'm like, the fuck? And so right away,
How old? Sorry, how old are you?
I was 11.
Okay.
So 10, 9, 8. So my brother's 8. The one that I fist fought every day. And my other brother's only 5. There is no pause or hesitation. They fucking immediately go into wolf mode and just start making fun of me.
Oh my God.
My last name is not the same as theirs. It's like, Powell. He goes, Powell, what the fuck? He's like, oh my God, what a fucking loser. You're not even in this loser family. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God.
This is an 8-year-old saying this shit. And so I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, whatever. I'm going to go figure this out. So I go walking out into the living room.
It's a 6-letter typo.
Yeah. So it gets so much better. I walk out into the living room, and in my dad's defense, 7 o'clock hour is MASH hour, and you don't interrupt during MASH hour.
That's fair. Yeah.
Man's worked a long day. Not taking that away from him. Worked his ass off. He deserved MASH. I can't imagine that the sock fights were quiet enough for him to enjoy it anyway.
Right.
So I walk out. There's my dad in his patented Stan Marsh undie outfit. He loved laying down on the floor in his tighty whities, hand up on the shoulder like this, kind of laid out. I don't know.
Like
Playboy
he's posing
style.
like I was posing like the
like
French
he's
girls
posing
for Leo
Play
DiCaprio.
Gross, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Play gross. And so he's posing for that. And so I walk out, and I 5 moments, man. This is one of my 5. So I walk out, and I'm like, Dad, and he's like, I'll try to do it. He's like, yeah. I'm like, How come my birth certificate says Powell instead of Cooper? And he goes, oh, fuck. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's you're not my kid. And I was like, what? He's like, he's still just watching. I still remember. I hated MASH. But I remember watching Klinger trying to get out of the fucking war, wearing his dress, like, you know what I mean? Trying to convince him that he's crazy and should get out of the war, because this is burned into my memory. And he's not,
God.
and my dad's not taking his head away. He's just like, yeah, you're not my kid. And I was just like, what? He's like, yeah, like, you're my kid, like, but you're not my kid. Like, I'm not, I don't know, man. Fuck. Yeah. And then he just starts laughing because Klinger has said something really funny on MASH. And then I'm not fucking kidding. I am crushed. Like, I literally don't know what to do in this situation.
Your feelings have been mashed.
And I'm like,
your shields for an 11-year-old aren't really that strong as it is.
Oh, no.
Look what their little wolf brother's already.
I'm fucking holding a birth certificate in one hand where my name is different than my brother's, and a fucking old dirty sock with his woolly socks mounted inside. Like a gladiator in the middle of the ring who doesn't know that he's dead already,
Are you not entertained?
So, and I was
your dad gave you the thumbs down, but not my child.
Oh. And so,
holy shit!
Then I was like, oh, like I didn't even understand what it meant. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, okay, yeah, me a MASH. He's like, MASH, man.
Like, you don't know if you have to go. As an 11-year-old, you're like, do I have to leave right now? Or like,
I just went back into the room, and my brothers, even they were just fucking ragging on me, and they're just like,
so one of two things has to happen next. Either in the sock fight that follows, you're either the most apathetic child you've ever seen, or you go into berserker mode, which was it.
No, I that's just you go to your room and that's it.
No, it's so much worse. So much worse.
Oh, goody.
So I go back into the room, and my instincts are, well, I guess that's that. So I put my birth certificate back in my parents' drawer and then just try to close the drawer, and it won't close. So I'm doing this thing where it's like, and it gets stuck, that halfway between like poor people,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm fucking, and I'm sitting there trying to cram this goddamn fucking thing back. And my dad goes, "Hey, I'm watching MASH." And I'm like, sorry, just sorry, I guess.
Wow.
And he's like, stop fucking. And then he sort of acknowledges it. He's like, sorry, fucking, we'll talk. We'll talk. It's like, fuck, man, MASH. And I'm pretty
we'll
sure.
talk during Jake and the Fat Man. It's on next, and that shows balls.
So it gets crazier because now that I'm thinking about this, I'm 11, so that means it's 1985. That show's off the air.
Yeah, it's a rerun.
Those are reruns.
Yeah, buddy,
My
it's
dad
a
has
rerun
seen
for like
those episodes.
Yeah, for sure. This is just his me time that you did not.
Just fucking not your dad. It's fine.
The worst part is right now, I'd be like, I love my kids, but when they interrupt my me time, I don't care if they got a finger hanging off. I'm like, god damn it, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you and my dad are the same. That was the same instinct.
I'm with your dad.
Yeah, no, I had no doubt. That's why I always try to seek your approval.
And that's why I'm so unwilling to give it, because I just love what it. I love the look on
God.
I love the look on your face. I can imagine that. That's crazy, man.
It was fun. Yeah, it was good. So that was the day I found out that I was.
No, I've had moments where I prayed. Like I've had moments where I prayed for what you went through, because from a divorce. Like I've had moments where I'm just like, oh, thank God, now I can go find my rich real dad somewhere else. Right?
Of course, that is the fantasy that happens for the next 12 years after this.
Right.
Where I assume that
Annie, they're gonna want to find me eventually.
Yeah, I live 2 doors down from a crack house. I'm like, I think it's a step up wherever I go. I'm like, any day my dad's limo is going to pull up and be like, hey, there was a big mistake at the fucking hospital or some shit at MASH or something. I don't know, And I will fucking hate that show until the day I die.
Yeah,
the worst part is I know it's a really good show, but I'll never like MASH ever.
Yeah, oh, my God.
That's fair.
Yeah. And think about how sad that fucking theme song is. Every time I hear it. And I'm like, oh, fucking God.
That's you.
My kid.
You're walking down the hall, dragging that sock.
Yeah, that's my
to that
Brown.
music. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Here's my favorite part. So I don't remember exactly, I'm sure my dad was really good at always trying to make up for his moments, And so I know that there was some sort of thing like, hey man, like I'm going to adopt you and it's going to be fine. Like I've been your dad forever and shit. And I'm like, okay, great. And guess what never happened? My last name is still legally Powell. There's no punchline. That's just the truth.
You know what? There's been times I've listened to this podcast and I've been like, Keith hits his dad pretty hard on the podcast. Now I'm up to speed on everything.
Yeah. It was fun. I wouldn't change a thing. It was fucking awesome, but it was a wild ride.
Every time you think you're up to speed, Ryan, you're not. There's going to be just be another
Let's
off
do
the cuff. Here's a memory.
Three more awkward moment podcasts, and I'll get into the layers.
I think we'll be close then. Yeah, that's true.
Maybe. Where was your mom in this? What the hell did your mom? Will your mom find out? Like I heard you found the certificate.
I think she's probably napping.
You didn't clean your room.
Was she watching Designing Women?
No, I think if I had to take a guess, I believe she was worried about how it affected her and how sad it made her. If I remember, that's what it came down to. Was how do you think this makes me feel? Yeah. I think that's what I remember the most.
Wow.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. This is a Christmas show. Can I do one more because it's real awkward and I just remember because of the Christmas thing and my parents?
Please.
Okay, I have like 9%. You might lose me halfway here, but
I'll go real quick on this one because I know we're running a little long here too. So my parents 1 year, Angie and I, and this one we're fucking broke. Like they moved out to Nova Scotia, and they're like, "Oh, you guys should come here for Christmas." And we're like, "We really can't afford that, you know." And they're just like, "Oh," and they guilt me into it and stuff. And I'm like, "Fine, you know."
Yeah.
So we get out there, and
you have kids?
Garbage is expected. You know, sorry.
You have kids at this point?
No, just before.
Okay. All right.
And so they're like, you know, you guys come out this year, we'll come out next year, and it'll be fine. So we go out. It's as expected. He's watching MASH, you know, and so that year goes, and next year, I'm talking to my parents. I'm like, all right, well, you guys are coming out. You can, you know, I'll set you up. I don't have much space, but I got a room. We've set up a new room, you know, so they have somewhere to sleep.
Right.
And my dad calls me about 3 weeks before and says, he's like, hey, yeah, I know we're supposed to come out, but he goes, we really want to get like a big screen TV this year.
What's he going to watch MASH on, Keith? What is he going to watch MASH on?
And he goes, so, you know, he's like, I'll leave it up to you, but.
Oh, there you go.
He goes, wow. I don't know, like, you know, like it's a really good deal on this TV.
Oh boy.
And
I got a really shitty deal on my dad, let me tell you.
And so in the background, I can hear the theme song for MASH, and I was like, "Yeah, that's fine."
I'll leave it up to you whether or not this huge life decision that I need to be a man and make an adult choice about. I can leave it up to you whether or not I'm happy for the holidays or whether or not I'm with you.
3 weeks out. Thanks, Dad. Yeah. So they chose. I guess they watched TV that Christmas. That was awesome.
Can't blame them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as you can imagine, I really wasn't that surprised.
Or heartbroken.
It was fine, yeah.
Yeah.
It's always, it's fun going home to my wife and explaining, like, why things are the way they are, you know?
Oh, my good fucking God.
So, yeah, so that was good. So, yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you all get big screen TVs this year.
MASH DVD. It's a good stocking stuffer. Or top drawer stuffer.
Or,
maybe put a little.
Oh, fucking oil your dressers, guys. I've never realized till now I have oiled my dressers so well.
And if
you want to play a great game with your kids over the holidays, you can get fake birth certificates printed quite easily, just their PDF documents, and you have the same kind of fun game that Keith did.
You're not my kid. I don't know. Klinger, man. Fuck. Come back during a radar scene. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for everybody here. Happy holidays to all of you. I hope you all get big screen TVs, and I hope you don't cry. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.